When I was younger and before I forgot to say my prayers, I was stronger. I was stronger. Was it for the better? Am I the only one watching our world turn dark? Our world turn dark. Progressing in our own way, tested on our own faith. Too sad to be true. Whoa. Progressing in our own way, tested on our own faith. Can't you believe? Let go, you must think I'm losing it again. So what if I'm letting you down? This scene has no place for me in it. I was let down a long time ago. 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 A long time ago.
make you feel super good.
All right, we're on Disco Acid Cult TV. Annie's not here yet. Annie's supposed to show up. She said like 6:30 or 6:40. I don't know. Whenever she'll pop up, whenever. Um, yeah. Until then, I don't really know what to fucking do. Whenever Annie's on, I kind of just rely on her to The classic intro is cool. Yeah, I like the original intro. I get tired of things really quick. So, like, I like it, but I just ended up making a new one. Like, I already wanna make another one. I'm already tired of the other one that I've been using too. If I had time or, like, the energy to do so, I would have, like, a new fucking intro for, like, every fucking stream. Oh, yeah, the songs. The first song you guys know what you remember the first song. I don't know, maybe. The first song is, Jordan Blake. It was, like, a solo track that Jordan put out. And then, it was, like, my favorite. You can't get it anywhere now. I got lucky and got it. When I was friends with Jordan, I remember asking him about it. I was like, "Hey, do you remember that song?" Because that song he put that song out in, like, 2011. That's before I ever met him. And then when I did meet him and, like, become friends with him, it was, like, 20 it was, like, after, probably, like, 2015, 2016, like, 17. I'm bad with years, but I remember asking him about it, and I was like, "Hey, whatever happened to that one song? It's called Everybody Hates a Fake." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I don't know where that song is, you know? You just record and release a lot of songs you don't remember." I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And then, after he died, there's, like, a tribute page to him now on Instagram that follows me, and he posted a clip of it or something, and I messaged him and was like, "Oh, you have that fucking song." Like, I tried to get that from Jordan, and even he didn't know where it was, and I don't know who this guy is that runs the tribute page, but he was like, "Yeah, I have the track, I can send it to you." So now I have it in my Dropbox. Yeah, that would make sense. I That's, like, my favorite solo track of his. He has a lot of decent, solo music, but that one's my favorite, and that was, like, not a lot of people really listen to that one. And then the second song again was just Us Versus London. I've got a few Us Versus London tracks I'll run through. But, there's already more songs I think about, like, I need to download there's some other bands from Vacaville back in the day that I remembered that I can find their stuff, like, on YouTube or SoundCloud. It could have been that song. I definitely played that song, when I had the Ford Taurus. That's around the time that song came out, so I was playing that song in the Ford Taurus a lot when we were burning CDs and putting them in the CD player in the Taurus. That Ford Taurus was awesome. That was, like, one of my favorite cars I ever had, was the it was an old person's car for sure. That car would just turn off, like, on the freeway. I would just be driving on the freeway with friends in the car, and the entire car would just shut off, like, the radio, the lights at the engine, everything would just die, and you would just be coasting for, like, 5 to 10 seconds. And everybody would panic, and I was like, "No, it'll come back on," and yeah, sure, it would come back on. The plane crash. Yeah, what's up with that? I haven't looked into that really. Of course, I've seen some people are blaming it on DEI, and then I've seen people, of course, on the other side are saying, "No, it's not DEI. It's I don't know. What are people blaming it on? What are all the blames? I'm super glad you say it's light green because I was just talking to mom about this. Everybody says it was gold. My girlfriend at the time was this girl named Carly, and I remember one time I made a comment about the Ford Taurus being green. She was like, "What are you talking about? That car's fucking gold." And all my friends, I talked to them about this, and they were like, "That's a gold car," and I always thought it was green. So ever since then, I've been pretty sure that there's, like, certain colors that I might see differently. You know, they say everyone has, like, 1 or 2, like, shades or colors that you kinda see differently than people. That's what I always thought about the Taurus, 'cause I always thought it was green, and everybody, even mom was like, That's a fucking gold car, like, I don't know what you're talking about." But, yeah, the plane crash. You know what? That's I just need to fucking title the video about the plane crash. That's what I'll title this shit. Guess there's some miscommunication or lack of staff working at the airport, and there was no communication leading to the crash. So was it just like a natural it just happened, or is there anything really to blame, or is it just like one of those Is it just like one of those things? I definitely gotta bring up I'll see if Annie's into it. I'll talk to her about it. I don't know if she's into the Scream movies, but, Matthew Lillard is returning for the next Scream movie, and that's a pretty big deal to me. I actually have to look up how to spell fucking Matthew Lillard's name, 'cause I think there's 2 L's. Yeah, there's 2 L's. Damian Lillard. No, Matthew Lillard is his actor who was in the first, Scream movie, and his death wasn't really, like, solid, like, there's a chance his character could have survived, so ever since Scream 1, people have been wanting him to come back and have been saying, his character is not dead, and I guess it just came out he signed on to be in Scream 7. When planes are going to prepare for landing, the pilot has to confirm there's nothing on the runway. Yeah, yeah, I'd imagine pilots have to be talking pretty constantly to people around them. But is it just like a so it was a plane and a helicopter crashed into each other? No survivors, that's pretty fucking crazy. I never know what to like, I never know what websites I should be looking at. Like, what websites are gonna tell me, like, what happened, and then what websites are gonna just say some bullshit because that's the side that the website is taking. Geez, 60 passengers and 4 crew members collided with an Army helicopter. Oh, it was an Army helicopter. That makes it, like, I guess, a little bit more unforgivable if it's an Army helicopter. I mean, was it the I would assume it's the plane's fault. Like, which one was more at fault, the plane or the helicopter? Yeah, the plane went down for a landing on the way and collided with the helicopter taking off. So it's probably the plane's fault, right? If anyone's at fault, it's the person in the plane. Because I would assume if you're landing, your responsibility is probably a bit more than someone who's taking off. Okay, so then I guess the Army helicopter part, I take that back. Maybe it's not completely unforgivable. It sounds like the plane. I would blame the pilot of the plane. I mean, you obviously can't blame any one person, but I would assume that the person who's landing has the heavier responsibility to make sure that there's nothing in the way before he lands. That's why people really wonder what was the fault because the military pilot. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the helicopter. Yeah, an Army helicopter pilot is probably like one of the best pilots in the country. Uh, Devil Ambush. Yeah, this is a cult. It's not a very big cult, so don't get your hopes up. Uh, we're definitely nowhere close to Jonestown yet. We're more of a what's the other one? What's the other one with all the Nikes? We're more along the lines of the one with the Nikes. You know, the guys that wore the Nikes and the Haley's Comet cult or whatever. We're closer to that. We would like to expand our ranks. Um, that is the goal. We would like to reach a Jonestown level of cult members, basically. But as of right now, we're doing what we can. We're doing what we can. We are putting in the work. I think the plane pilot must have fallen asleep, but there's always like 2 backup pilots per plane, so who knows the truth. Fallen asleep, is that I don't know. Do you think he fell asleep? I don't know. That'd be crazy. And yeah, there's at least one backup pilot. There should be multiple pilots. I don't know. I guess the thing that's crazy is that you're really never going to know what actually happened. Like everyone's going to theorize and talk about it in this and that and blah blah blah. But yeah, you're never actually going to know. If there's no survivors, no one's going to say shit. And realistically, if none of the pilots, if a passenger survives, he's not going to be able to tell you shit because he's not up in the cockpit dealing with anything. So he's, yeah, we'll get no like real answers. I guess that's gonna be the bummer. And again, the real bummer about this is that, like, tomorrow, we'll be moved on, you know? They'll find more cocaine in the White House or something, and then everything will just continue carrying on. But I tell you what, yeah, it's gotta be the plane's fault. Something prevented the pilot. Yeah, I guess it coulda just been like a technology thing, you know? Maybe he tried to communicate, but technological difficulties or some bullshit. I don't know. It could be something that simple. It's just funny how immediately it becomes, I hate how anytime anything happens, it immediately becomes like a left versus right, Now they're having, like, DEI arguments, and it's like, yeah, we could those arguments I think are fair, like, we should talk about that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, can we take a fucking minute to, like, acknowledge that, like, 60 people just fucking died? Like, do we have to go immediately to the left versus right argument? But that's how everything is, it's like whenever there's a shooting now, whenever there's a mass shooting, it immediately turns into, "Oh, we need gun control. That guy was a right winger." It's like, bro, can we just acknowledge that, like, a bunch of people just got shot up? Like, who cares if the guy was left or right wing? Like, some tacky shit that I'll say, but realistically, like, he was just one of us. Like, that's what the real answer is. Like, it's just one of us. Doesn't matter if the shooter was a right winger or a left winger. Like, it was one of ours. We let this guy down. Like, that's really the only answer. But yeah, anytime there's a mass shooting, like, the first thing you hear is, CNN rushes to tell you that he was an extreme right winger, and then, right wingers rush to tell you that he was, he had purple hair. It's like, dude, it was a fucking dude that was living here that was probably taking fucking Prozac. Like, that's the real answer. He was just a fucking American dude who was probably taking fucking Prozac. I don't fucking care if the guy was left or right wing. Oh, yeah, and it's like immediately the left comes out and talks about gun control. Like, as soon as a school gets shot up, it's, "Oh, yeah, we need gun control." It's like, "Wait, what? Can you take, like, a day? Can you wait, like, a day?" One of the crazy ones was that transgender person that, like, shot up the school, and, like, the White House came out and was like, "Oh, yeah, like, we stand with transgender people," and it's like, "Okay, I get it." Like, I don't want people, oh, Annie just showed up. Um, Boom, you're on. Hey, what's up? I can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
I said, what are you talking about?
We started off on that plane crash, and then we went into mass shootings and how as soon as a shooting happens, all the media rushes to do he was a left winger, he was a right winger, he was a this, he was it's like, dude, a bunch of people just died. Like, can we chill out for a minute and quit arguing about left versus right stuff? So that's what we're saying. Like, this plane crash just happened, and kind of immediately
you
they're like, "Oh, it's a DEI hire," and "Oh no, it was someone from Donald Trump's person." What it's like, dude, can we
well
just like
did
fucking chill?
did you did you listen to the press conference this morning?
No, I haven't looked into it too much. That's one of the things I was saying is that it's some stories I jump on and some stories I don't. What was the press conference though?
Oh my god, it was so cringe. Because I watched it live this morning with Trump. It was so embarrassing. Like, oh my god, it was like 2 minutes of apologies, and then he dove right into like, well, this is Obama's fault and Biden's. And then he was like going on a tangent about that while people were like crying. And then he goes on, and then he goes on about, well, this is all because of the diversity hires. So we're no longer going to have that. And just like the racism was like in full force. And it was just so cringe. It was so cringe because it's like he couldn't like take any accountability and just be like, I'm so sorry this happened. It was like immediately like, I'm the best president. We're going to fix this. This is because of them. And it's like, dude, just like have some empathy. Like there's people that just like lost their entire family. Like, what are you
Yeah. So
doing?
I think fuck, I forgot to change my name. So I think I don't think he necessarily needs to it's not his fault. Like he obviously I don't think had anything to do with it, but he should just get up there and just say, "Hey, this is shitty. Like, we can get through this." But yeah, that's kind of the point we were getting at is that as soon as something bad happens,
But
everyone jumps into, "Nope, that was their fault. Nope, it was their fault." It was like, dude, and then I was saying on the other side, whenever there's a shooting, whoever's a Democrat stands up and immediately gets into gun control, and it's like, can we not talk about policies in gun
yeah.
control and DEI? Can we just can we chill for like a day, and then maybe later we can get to like, here's what might have happened. The DEI hires, was the pilot even like a fucking fat retarded black guy? Like that's gonna be the big tell. It wasn't
No,
just
they
like
even said that like the controller was a white male. So it's just like, it's crazy. I don't know. It's just, and then what's weird is like the cult behavior because it's like he spoke for like 10 minutes and then he brought up his team. And of course, it's like all like young white males came to speak. And it was weird the way they spoke because they would say something and then every couple sentences they would say like, but like, thank you so much for your leadership, Mr. President. Like very cult like they had to keep reiterating that. I just thought that was kind of creepy.
I don't care so much that they're all white dudes. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. And cult, I mean, there's cultish people on both sides. You could turn around and say the same thing about how when Joe Biden was running, everybody was talking about how this is the guy. We need another 4 more years of him. And then literally one random Sunday, Joe Biden tweeted, "I'm not running. Kamala's running." And like fucking that, everybody was like, "Kamala, this is the next Obama. This is the motherfucker that's gonna take us to the promised land." That's just all politics, and I think it's cringe on both. Like, dude, simping
Yeah.
over any politician is gay as fuck. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You should simp for yourself. You should simp over your fucking wife or your husband or your family, and that's honestly one of like Dirty White Boy's best takes. He's like, dude, you should vote for your fucking self. Like, go out and take care of shit. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is weird that it's like a helicopter just crashed into a plane or a plane crashed into a helicopter and it's like, oh, thank you for your leadership. Like what leadership? Like you didn't.
But like the way that like Trump spoke was of course as if he's like talking to like 5-year-olds. Like he was just like he went on this whole tangent as well of like, oh, like if only the plane was like just a couple of feet lower. And then he just had to like keep talking about that, about like how high the planes were in the sky. And it was just like, why are you bringing that up? Like this, it was really cringe to watch the whole thing because it was just, it's so embarrassing. I don't know. But
Yeah, the whole state of the world is kind of embarrassing at this point. It's like,
yeah, it's just so bad.
like, dude, can we just like chill out? Can we calm down? It's everyone, we're all gonna be fine. I mean, the 60 people on the plane, they're not gonna be fine, but we're all gonna be fine. Just be careful getting on airplanes nowadays. The thing that's funny about this comment right here, yeah, if the dudes on the plane, if the pilots were white, that doesn't even honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't matter because I remember last year they were talking about like the airlines, they're like and again, this is just all stuff that I've heard talked about. I have no idea. I don't look into it too much. It's just a topic on certain podcasts that I would listen to that I don't latch on to because I don't care too much. I don't fly, honestly. So but they were saying that they're expanding their like diversity hires. Like they're looking for people with like mental disabilities and like mental, you know, things like that. So if they're white pilots, then they would still argue, well, oh, they could have been like a fucking, you know, a retarded person because they're trying to hire retarded people to fly planes. And
So, okay, so I texted this to my mom earlier because I was texting like quotes of what he was saying. So
yeah,
he said during the conference that he is going to this is what he said. He's going to fire all diversity hires because they're mentally incompetent. So he said that's one thing he said. Oh, and then it was so bad that when the conference was over, the news anchors were so flustered, they just had to apologize to the public for how bad it was.
I think when
He
they
was just
use the word diversity hire, I agree with, you know, I do agree with look, if there's some kind of test to become a pilot and you don't score a fucking A plus on it and they hire you because they're looking for a certain type, then yes, I want those people out of there. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if it's a fucking black dude who passed his test with flying colors, then yeah, don't fucking bother him. You know, he did
because
fine.
I don't understand about the whole like we have to fire the diversity hires because
You just
they
fire the
still
people
they
that suck at their jobs. That's
but
all I'm
I mean
saying.
they got high some, you know, most of them got hired because of a skill set they had for that job. So
But that's the argument. That's the argument, is that they might not have. Like, there have been cases of, you know, it happens in like colleges. If they've got one spot left, there's an Asian kid who scored an A plus on the SATs, and then there's a black kid who comes from, you know, the inner city in Chicago that scored a C plus on his SAT. They'll
yeah.
take the black kid because they want to boast about their diversity. But so that's what I'm saying. It's just look at how they did in their training. Like, that's all I'm saying. If they legitimately suck at their job, then yeah, fire them. But if you're walking up to like diverse people, whatever the fuck that even actually means, who
Yeah.
are like good at their job, then don't fire them. Just, you know, like just go back to merit. Just go back to like, yeah, this guy's good at his job, so we'll fucking keep him. Like, I don't care about
Yeah.
this and that. I do think it's funny. There was a time last year when a lot of I forget which airline it was. It might have been Delta, one of the big airlines. You know, they'd put out some whole promotional video about how they're going to start hiring, you know,
Yeah.
specifically more black people because there's only so many white pilots and we need more black pilots. And I was like, dude, I've known a lot of black people and I don't know, is that like a thing? Are black people just like rising up to become pilots? Is this like a thing? Like, do black people want to become pilots, or are they just saying that they're gonna start hiring black people? If black people want to become pilots, then that's fucking awesome. Like, go to fucking school and learn that shit.
I don't
I've never
know.
heard any of my black friends be like, dude, you know what sucks, Rob? I want to be a pilot and they won't let me. I spelled my name wrong. God damn it.
Um, you did spell your name with a C.
Yeah, I have to
It
put the
needs to
K
be
in
a
there.
K. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, did you see about the whole like the trans people in the army, the military?
Yeah, and I would just say the same thing about that. He's firing trans people from the army.
Yeah, so they're getting rid of like you can't be trans in the army. I don't know the full logistics of it, but it was something like that. Like
So
no
I'm
more.
fine. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're transgender in the army. The one thing I will say is I wouldn't want, and I think this is a basic thing, I wouldn't want tax dollars. You know, if I go into the army and then I want to start going through, I wouldn't want people who are going through the process to be in
Yes,
the,
so that's what he said. It was like they were going to like remove like most trans people from the military or something of the sort, but it was going to be considered under like where they are in the process. So I think if they're not like ready to go, like you know, no issues, it's like they can't get in. They need someone that's probably like fully transitioned, not going
that's
to
what I'm
cause any
saying.
problems, you know. Not someone that's going to be like, "Oh, I have to go get surgery," you know, or something of the sort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't have people that need to go to visit the doctor every 2 weeks to get a checkup on their
Exactly.
That I'm fine. You know, that I'm fine with. If you're going to be in the army, you should be able to kick ass as well as anybody. And there are definitely transgender people that can. I mean, look at prisons. You know, a lot of the dudes in prisons that are fucking gay. I think my uncle told me a story about he knew a guy who knew a guy in prison. It was this fucking gay dude who wore a dress, and his name was Apple, and he
Okay.
fucking whooped ass. People did not fuck with Apple because he would fuck you up, and then he would fuck you. So he did not mess with this guy. So yeah, I don't care. If
That's
there's
good.
trannies in the army, that's awesome. I'm sure a lot of them whoop ass. But yeah, you don't need a guy who's about to go get top surgery and then needs 6 months to
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what he I think what he means. But so because that there were like 3 executive orders that he signed this week. The trans one was number 1. The second one was getting rid of all of the DEI programs. And then the third one was to give back pay and like rehire all of the people in the military that were forced to resign because they didn't get their COVID vaccine.
I'm fine with that too.
So
I'm fine
yeah.
with that too. Yeah, I don't like mandates for vaccinations. That's just me
Yeah.
though. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I just think that's your choice.
Yeah.
That's to me,
Well.
that's completely your choice. If you want to go get 17 booster shots, perfect. That's all. You do what you do, but you're not going to make me get 17 booster shots if I don't
No,
want
yeah,
them.
definitely not gonna do that.
I remember I got really lucky with my job at the time. It was my grocery store job, so we were deemed necessary. We were necessary workers, and my boss was very cool about. He was like, you know, you do what you do, whatever works best for you. Um, Even the mask thing, he was like, you know, when a customer walks by, make sure pick that shit up. But if you're just no one's around, he was very cool about all the COVID stuff, and he was whatever. You're an adult. Do it, do what you do. If you're sick, don't come in. Of course, let me know. We'll work with you, but just I'm not going to make you guys sign. It was funny because he legally had to give us papers and we had to sign this thing saying that we were like vaccinated and shit. Like it got that
Yeah.
crazy. But he was like, just fucking sign it and give it to me and I'll keep, I'll turn it in or whatever.
Yeah. Does it say? Yeah,
Up
it
to the
should be up
business.
to the business.
Yeah, exactly. The only time it shouldn't necessarily be up to the business is when we do get into pilot stuff. Like if you can't hire pilots that aren't the best at their jobs. But that's a simple
No,
thing.
you can't.
That was one of the things that was a topic last year because there was some shit happening. Like, remember there was that story where like a Delta Airlines plane, like the door broke off in flight.
Well, no, so that was American Airlines
That's
along with the
yeah.
airlines from last night. So
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they should look into a little bit. Maybe they should get some people out of there. But like I said, at the same time, if it's a diversity hire or whatever the fuck that is, if they're good at their job, don't fuck with them. Leave them alone. They're fine.
yeah.
Don't just start firing, black people and Asian people just because. But yeah, just go through and look like, oh, a door fell off the plane and you're the guy that put the door on the plane, you're fired. Like, we can't have that happening. Oh, you got a D-
But
on your test, like for training, we can't have you. You got to go.
what's up with American Airlines though? They seem to be having a lot of issues.
That's what the whole thing was last year. There was a lot of people talking about, I did hear about the Boeing whistleblower. I don't remember much about it because that was last year, but write some shit about that because I forgot about a lot of it. I think it was the whistleblower basically came out and said, yeah, they're hiring people that are very clearly not ready for the job just because, they meet the DEI. The thing that's funny about the term DEI hire that's really goofy to me is that the people that are down for it, they will boast about it and they will outright tell you, like, okay, so my work is plastered with rainbows and DEI posters, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But then when you call somebody a DEI hire, they take it like as an insult. And it's like, well, wait, you just told me that you're all down with DEI. So what's insulting about the term DEI hire? But yeah, dude came out and said the fucking factory is ghetto. These planes are made out of shit. Don't fly Boeing planes. And then he ended up with a fucking bullet in his head. Jesus. Hey, dude, being a whistleblower has to be scary shit. No, it was the materials and parts the planes are made out of are bunk. Okay, so they were skimping. They were being cheap and they were buying bullshit.
So, in other news, I started reading. Well, actually, I'm almost done. I've been reading A Clockwork Orange.
Like the novelization? Oh,
Yeah.
the original. Okay, I always forget that Stanley Kubrick's movies are all based on books.
It's like so wild. Like you've seen the movie, right?
I've heard that the book is like 10 times more, like there's rape.
Okay, so like I have to talk about some of this. So cuz I'm like just over halfway through. Like I'm at the point where he he's in the prison, and then like he's discovered there's this new treatment where he can get out.
Yeah.
And so he's just about to go do that treatment. But yeah, it's like, okay, so the author, he created his own slang. Like the when you hear the language in the movie, that's like what the author created. It's called like NASDAQ or something. It's like he it's like slang. Like he took like Russian and English and created his own words. And so every other word in the book is like a made up slang word. And honestly, this is like the only book where I would say watch the movie first, because if I hadn't have seen the movie, I'd be like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. Because you kind of have to like just pick up the words and go. Otherwise, you're just reading like, whatever. But at least because of the movie, you can kind of like put a picture to what's happening. But it's definitely like there's so much more, of course, in the book than the movie, but then there's so much of the movie like in the book. But I will say though, like the craziest thing so far that I have to bring up is like, well, so the main character in the book, he's 15. Did you know that? Like, because I know that like in the movie he looks way older.
Yeah, the two things that I've heard are that he was younger, and then I've also heard, the scene in the movie where he has sex with the two girls that he meets at the record store. I've heard that in the book is more like a non-consensual type of deal.
Okay, so that's what I was going to bring up. So in the book, him, his friends, and then like all the other gangs, they're all like 14, 15 years old, and they're all doing this. Now, the craziest part I could not believe is like, so that scene at the beginning where he comes upon that rival gang and they're like raping that girl on the mattress?
Yeah.
So that girl and then the two girls that he picks up at the record shop in the book are 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's just insane to me, because in the book he doesn't go to school, and then he goes to the record store, and then he says like there's these two 10-year-olds like licking lollies, like looking at pop records, and then he like basically convinces them to hang out with him, and then he takes them out to like an Italian restaurant, and they are like, they're babies, so they just eat a bunch of like pasta and ice cream, and they're kids. And so then he's like, okay, do you want to come over? And then they say, okay. But it's like, because the language is so confusing, it's kind of unclear. Like, yeah, like if they're raped or not. Cause it seems like he gets them drunk, and then he uses like different terminology to explain that like he has fun with them. But then afterwards they're like upset and they don't feel good because they're drunk, and then they leave. So it's kind of unclear whether like he had his way with them, or if they were like down because they were drunk and then they were 10 and didn't realize what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I can't believe this author was like, let's make them 10.
Well, I know that a lot of movies do that. So a lot of movies that are based on books, they change things like that because they say this would be wildly inappropriate in a movie.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're not going to make them 10 years old. We're going to make them older. And then, yeah, and then what's crazy about that is that Stanley Kubrick even like had to like go into hiding when even the movie was fucking, people were pissed off when that movie came out. Remember, it was like rated X, and it was showing on theaters in England, and it got taken out of theaters very quickly, and he was getting death threats from people because they were up in arms about how inappropriate that movie was, which is funny. Watch it today, and my sister, who's like 14, I can never get her to watch that. Two, I never would watch it with her, but I bet you at some point she'd be like, dude, this is kind of fucking boring. Like, it's very tame by today's standards.
Yeah.
But, I know that a lot of movies that are based on books, the books are like twice as hardcore. You can pretty much assume that the book is going to be more hardcore than the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just like, of course, Kubrick just like condensed all of it. But yeah, there's just a lot there's other scenes of just them, you know, beating people up and whatnot. But yeah, it's just wild to me that the author was like, okay, let's take a bunch of 15-year-olds and then they're going to want to have sex with 10-year-olds, which is like, why not make them like 12 or 13? Like, why 10? Because that's a child.
I think at that point, I mean, they're all children. It makes no difference. I think the point of it is just to show, you know, it's kind of like, what's the like the way I'm looking to put it? You know, it's just the hooliganry of, you know, kids.
Yeah.
Some people are just bad people. Even as kids, some people are just born and they're just fucking terrible people from the, you know, they're not meant to be good they're not meant to be good people, like good guys. They're meant to be bad guys. Which I have to say, I do like when writers and directors go that far. I hate when totally different realm, but like in Terrifier 2, there was a scene where Art the Clown basically pulls out a machine gun and commits a mass shooting. And people were like, that's too far, that's too much. And then it's like, dude, he's a fucking bad guy. Like he's supposed
Yeah.
like that's, you know, he blows up a bunch of kids in a mall. Like, yeah, that's a evil motherfucker. Like that's what they're supposed to do. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
these kids are 15, they're doing the shit with 10-year-old, they're bad. You know, it's like that, remember that movie Kids from the 90s?
Oh my God, that was so terrible. Like that rape scene.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that movie. I have a friend, I had a friend, rest in peace, a good friend. Dirty White Boy knows him. He really liked that movie. And I remember, I think he's the one that showed it to me. I watched it in my buddy's room with that friend. And yeah, that's also one of those movies. Like, dude, it's just meant to show you, like, this is what these motherfuckers get up
Oh,
to.
isn't that what's his name? Harmony Korine?
Yeah.
Did he make that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his movies, honestly.
What was that other movie he did? It starts with a G.
I know there's another one.
The one where the kid wears like the rabbit head. And it's just as bad. It's like really Gummo. Yeah,
yep.
that shit's fucked up too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that director.
But then
Harmon.
he made like Spring Breakers, which I'm not a fan of. But
Spring Breakers, isn't that the movie with
Selena Gomez?
I need to watch that movie because, you know, the pictures of her in the bikini are all over the internet, and I need to watch that fucking movie.
It's so terrible because they had James Franco basically impersonating what's that one rapper? I forget his name. Let me look it up. He's impersonating somebody that's like in real life. He's this rapper that used to perform with Krayshawn.
I remember Krayshawn.
Yeah. And so anyways, the movie is just like so terrible because it's just James Franco being like spring break forever and like they all get fucked up and just having sex, and it's just like I don't know. It's like I saw it once like when it came out and I never needed to see it again.
Oh, yeah, I just want to see Selena Gomez in her underwear.
Yeah, there is a lot of that.
I'd rather see her in her underwear than her crying on Instagram. Yeah, that definitely was Selena Gomez in her prime, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Harmony Korine. I'm just, you know, I know some people like that the realistic feel of the movies. It's just not my thing. I didn't really care for kids.
Yeah, that was rough. That was with what's her name? Chloe.
Yeah, she was an American Psycho. Chloe Savini.
Yeah, that was like when she was first starting out.
Her debut. Yeah, her first movie. Man, imagine kids being your first. You get your first acting gig, and it's kids. I watched Happy Gilmore yesterday. The movie.
Sorry, I was going to say James Franco's character is based off of the rapper Riff Raff.
Okay. Happy Gilmore is a great movie. I've recently learned about this is totally different, not Happy Gilmore, but Gilmore Girls. There's a Gilmore Girls conspiracy theory.
Which is, I love Gilmore Girls.
So, let me see. I shot this YouTube channel up before. It used to be called Mind Shock, but it must have been taken down. Now it's Bruce McGuire. That's the name of the channel. It's just Bruce and then Maguire. He does a lot of true crime, a lot of conspiracy theories. He goes anywhere from like the Maura Murray case to the all politicians are shape-shifting lizards conspiracy theory. Pretty wacky YouTuber. I really like him. It's just audio. I love his audio quality. It's kind of messy and dark. I really like this YouTuber. But yeah, he put out 2 videos recently about the Gilmore Girls conspiracy. And I guess, hold on, let me pull one up. I'm not gonna pull it up on screen. I just want to pull it up so I can read the description of the episode. It's something to do with like it's like Hollywood kind of like like not showing their hand, but it's like Illuminati, I think, type stuff. God, I need to fucking look this up
What?
really quick.
I'm like
It,
a huge Gilmore Girls fan, so
yeah, and this guy, he totally believes it. Like, I'm pretty sure he says like, yeah, this is I learned about this conspiracy theory, and it's no, all I can find are fan theories. God, what the fuck is it? It's like something to do with the fact that you know how people think of like Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, how some people say that's kind of like Hollywood exposing a little bit, showing you a little bit of the dark stuff behind the scenes.
yeah.
That's kind of what he's getting at. I should just finish the videos. I started one the other night, but I fell asleep to it, and God, yeah. No, I can't remember at all what it was. Let me see that. I'm in the comments. I never thought God, no. Without the context, I can't explain this at all. It's basically one of those things where it's like Hollywood kind of showing you a little bit, I don't know, things represent certain things, and I think it's Illuminati related.
Is it okay? There's one online that says it's like the main character's fantasy about what life could have been.
No, I don't think that's it. It really is like something to do with like Hollywood being kind of cultish and like Illuminati-ish, I'm pretty sure. I'll watch the 2 videos, and then maybe if I can think of a summary, I'll bring it up next week. But yeah, I guess there is a Gilmore Girls conspiracy theory, and it's something about something kind of Eyes Wide Shut-ish. And I love this YouTube channel though. I'll always shout it out because I like what he does. It's funny, there are a bunch of theories on Reddit, I guess. What conspiracies have you heard about Gilmore Girls? Someone posts Mick, and then in parentheses, Kirk at the start was actually one of Kirk's many siblings. The mystery ice cream maker was the gift from Emily that she refused to tell Lorelai about. I've never watched the show.
Oh, you should watch the show.
It's like early 2000s, right? Or is it late 90s?
Yeah, it's like early 2000s, like 2000 to like 2007 or 8, something like that.
Yeah, I'd probably be into it. I like those early 2000s, like girl shows. Like I used to love Degrassi.
Oh my God, Degrassi was my true love. I have seen all of them, and I miss like early Degrassi with like Paige and Spinner. That was like the prime, and then it got weird where it was so glamorized, and all the kids were like so dolled up,
Yeah.
and they stopped looking like kids.
It definitely got huge. It was a big show. I remember I love the episode with Taking Back Sunday when Adam Lazara has the blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the one, the guitar player kid is doing cocaine and he gets the nosebleed or something?
Is it Craig?
Let me pull this one up actually.
Craig had like a coke habit, I thought.
I will definitely pull this clip up. Once I get past a fucking YouTube ad that I have
Okay,
muted.
so have you seen like the original Degrassi from the 80s?
No.
That shit's cool because like, the parents in the show were the whole cast from the original Degrassi. So you see them as kids, and all of the episodes are on YouTube. So there's that, and it's pretty much the same, except they're all dressed like in 80s attire and at the same school. And then before that, I think in like the late 70s, there was like, I think it was called like the Kids of Degrassi, and it was literally like I don't know how old they were, like middle school kids that went to I guess there was like another school nearby, and so it's like a whole realm, and I've seen them all. But I will say that the original Degrassi from the 80s and then The first few seasons of the Next Gen were the best.
Yes, Proto Max. That is Aubrey in the wheelchair. That is the show.
Because in the 80s one, you get to see how like Emma's mom got knocked up with her and all that.
Okay.
With,
Yeah, no, I don't even think I knew there was an 80s one.
yeah, no, nobody really knows unless you do research.
Unless you get way too into it.
Yeah.
This is the episode.
Oh, with Ellie? Yeah, Ellie and Craig.
And then, yeah, Taking Back Sunday compliments him, and then he gets to play a song on stage, and it shows him doing cocaine backstage. And he gets up to sing a really cringe
I remember
song.
this. Oh my god, I remember like Craig was just the greatest thing when we were
Was
like
he?
10. I had a huge crush on Craig. He was one of my favorite characters. Yeah, but then he got all weird and
There's the nosebleed, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And you can see Taking Back Sunday is like, oh my god, this guy's on drugs, and they're probably on drugs too at the moment.
I just love how over the top it was. Like, remember how like the all like the bad kids would go to the ravine, and then like some of the characters would go like have sex down in the ravine, and then they would be like classified as like whores.
I really don't remember much about the show. I just know that my friend's brother, who is like a year or two older, he was really into it, and I'd watch it with him. I remember there was one time, I don't know if there was, we got real excited. There might have been like a sex scene or something, and we were all like, this is fucking great. This is adult TV. And like, we were way too hyped on that shit.
There was one episode I remember where it was like a couple of the kids, it was like, I think it was in one of the earlier seasons because Drake, Jimmy, he had legs and he was still going out with Ashley. And one of the characters, JT, was given ecstasy. And I remember like they totally over traumatized it because he like took the pill and then within like seconds, he was just like tripping balls and it was
Yeah,
it was so, and then it was like they kind of like I don't think they knew what like ecstasy really felt like because they made it seem as if they were drunk, so they were just like falling all over the place and being sloppy, and it's like that's not the experience.
That's how every early 2000s teenage show portrayed every drug. When they tried to do the drug episode, it was always just like, oh, they're just drunk. We'll never get a good drug representation in an early 2000s show.
And then they like, they always have to fuck up somehow. They like take the drug, they do something really bad, and then like that's the moral of the story. I love how the very first episode of the Degrassi Next Gen in like 2000, when I think about it now, they probably did this because like computers like were a big thing. But the very first episode was about the character Emma, and she was talking to a kid online, and she went to go meet him, and it was like a pedophile, and then he like locked her in a room, and it was a whole thing. So the moral of the story was like, you can't have a computer in your kid's bedroom because they could be talking to strangers on the internet.
That became a big subject amongst when I lived in a court. I was like in grade school, like second grade through whatever. My family, we lived in a court, and it was a very, very classic small town. Like me and the kids, the neighbor kids rode bikes and shit. And one of the kids, Brian had a computer in his room. He was the one kid in the neighborhood that had the computer in his room, and he got caught looking at porn. His mom walked in, he was watching porn. And all the moms were talking, and this became a big like, oh, he shouldn't have a fucking computer in his room. You keep the computer somewhere where you can see it at all times. And that was funny. And Brian was a total fucking weirdo. Brian was definitely watching weird shit. We're like in second grade. This kid Brian, dude. Oh man, Brian was cool because he had all the best video games. Like he had Baldur's Gate, I think Baldur's Gate 2. And I used to play at home all the time. And he was really into Weird Al Yankovic, and I'd go over there, we'd listen to Weird Al Yankovic and play Baldur's Gate 2. I think it's Baldur's Gate 2 that I'm thinking of. But yeah, all he ever ate, literally all this kid ever ate was bagels with cream cheese and like noodles, like pasta noodles, but with no red sauce, just like cheese, which I also like. I hate red sauce, but it was like literally all he ate. It was all you'd ever see him eating. Um,
Hmm.
no, it was not Baldur's Gate 2 that I'm thinking of. God damn it. I need to remember what game this was. It might have
Wait, you said
dude.
he was in second grade?
Well, I was probably in second grade, and he
That's
might have been in like
wild.
third or fourth. You know, he was like a year or two older than me. Dude,
Yeah.
why can't I remember this game? Protomax, you would know it. It's the game. It has like a blue. It's like a girl with blue. She's blue skin and white hair. She's on the cover. It's an RPG, multiplayer RPG. It's got a top-down view. It might be Baldur's Gate. Um, Brian definitely might have had autism. Brian was a fucking weirdo. I'd be very curious to know what that guy's up to today. This game is gonna fucking kill me. It might be Baldur's Gate. It might be, start naming off some more multiplayer RPGs. But yeah, yeah, like 2nd or 3rd grade, whatever, looking at porn, and he was like I said, he was definitely
That's
watching
crazy.
it definitely was not just like your normal porn. Whatever it was he was watching, it had to have been some weird, like,
That's
you know.
insane. I mean, my parents, yeah, they gave me a computer like very young. And so, yeah, I was always on the computer as a kid, but I don't know. I think like cuz I wasn't playing like Sims. I was into like Second Life, which like only adults were doing that.
Yeah.
So, I just like Second Life was why. Do you remember that website?
No.
So Second Life was kind of like the adult version for Sims, um, where it was like a website and you created like an avatar and then people could like build their own worlds within it. But there were like because it was like early internet, like there were no rules. So you could like build your own like sex dungeon and like make your character have sex with somebody else's avatar if they were online. Um, so I mean, it was like it was really cool how advanced it was, but I remember like I'm 11 and then I remember like my avatar would go cuz you could like fly to different worlds and then you would see other people all over the world that were live. And so I would always tell people that I was like I think I told people I was like 27 when I was 11.
Oh, yeah.
And then yeah, I think that was kind of like I never partook in any of the avatar sexual stuff, but like you would see it and I always thought like that's crazy. I'm 11. Dark
Just
Alliance.
Protomax. Yeah, this was the game. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. I don't know the difference between Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, but this was the game. It was not Gauntlet because I knew I had Gauntlet and I liked that game a lot, but I'm pretty sure this was the game. I'm pretty sure it's a multiplayer RPG. It might not have been a top-down view, but I just know that's what we used to play. Yeah, we always had a computer, but our computer was always just in, it was either in like the living room or it was in when we lived in a 2-story house, there was a loft and it was just in the loft. It was always I remember when the computer was on the loft, it was if it was like kind of down the hall from my mom's bedroom. If she walked out and took a couple steps, she could have seen the computer from where she was. And I was like 13 and I made a MySpace, even though the rule was you have to be 14 to make a MySpace. And for some reason, I really thought my mom would care, and I don't think she would have given a fuck at all. But yeah, I used to sit on the computer late at night, talking to this girl I had a crush on MySpace and comments. And every time I commented something, I would get up and kind of walk down the hall and make sure I don't hear my mom coming out of her room. And then I'd run back to the computer and see if she commented back, and then I'd comment back. And yeah, no,
No,
we always had a computer, just not in my room.
no, I was doing like weird stuff. Like I would find like online chat rooms to hang
Oh
out
yeah.
with, like that. Like I wasn't looking at anything sexual by any means, but I was more interested in like talking to random people on the internet. And so I would find like chat rooms, and it was like those early days where you would just type in like chat rooms like on Yahoo, and then it'd give you a couple links, and then it's like 50 people all typing at once, like in one little chat bar.
Yeah. I never hung
So,
out in chat rooms.
oh yeah, no, yeah, my friends and I were into that too. But I mean, we were also into like, I think I told you once about like the party line where you would call a number and then
Yeah.
like just a bunch of people were chatting on the phone. Like we were into that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But then it's like I would do weird stuff like that, but then I'd also be playing like Neopets
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never got into the like talking to strangers on MySpace. There were like some girls that, were, they'd be like a scene queen and their page would say from Ohio. I talked to some random people on
Yeah.
MySpace. Um,
They
but
were
other than
always
that,
from Ohio.
yeah, no, other than that, in high school, we went through a little bit of a chat roulette phase. We would just show
Oh
people our
yeah.
butts, but that was it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I know Omegle's gone now, but nowadays, a thing like Omegle or a chat roulette seems like a pretty cheap and easy way to make like, like get viral videos. Like you always see that one of the guy dressed up as the Joker who like says racist shit to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I never did the chat room thing, which is funny because nowadays chat rooms are cool, but I mean nowadays it's basically just the whole internet is a chat room kind of. But
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real need to like talk to strangers on the internet because they're just everywhere. But yeah, no, do you remember like because everybody else had like a blog. Do you remember Zanga?
no,
Okay, so that was like a big blog website. And then there was like Live Journal.
I remember LiveJournal.
Yeah, there were, I think I had like a Zanga, but yeah, those MySpace days, they were pretty good.
Yes, a scene queen. Just like a girl that was a scene girl that did it perfectly. Like the teased hair, the piercings, probably some lip piercings, probably like a tattoo with a tattoo of a diamond. The diamond
Yeah.
tattoos were big.
I
Just
was like so into the scene drama. Like I loved watching like lives on Stick'em
yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah. That was
Stick'em, I remember one of my favorite bands back in the day, they used to do, like, little acoustic performances on Stick'em, and I think they're still on YouTube. Those were good days. I know, I don't know what we did or what we talked about, but I know that the one time my old friend Miles and I did an episode of the original Octagon Bro Show. We did an episode on Stick'em, and I only know that because one of my Facebook memories said, "Oh, episode 1 of the Octagon Bro Show just happened yesterday," and I don't know what we did. It's, I can't find it. It's nowhere. But I'd be curious to see what we did. And, we definitely had
oh,
like a 240p webcam and shit.
I also forgot to mention. So Instagram has a new feature. You should look this up. Go to your settings, go to blocked, and it'll show you like there's like a button. It basically shows you people that stalk your profile that you might want to consider blocking. So one of my friends had a couple people, I had none. So you can see who's stalking your profile that doesn't follow you. If you have anybody.
Damn, accounts you may want to block. What does it mean by stalking your profile? Like you just look them up a lot?
Yeah, so like say someone creates a fake profile and they are consistently looking at your profile, but they do not follow you. Instagram's going to pick that up and be like, hey, this person is not associating with you, but keeps lurking at you. You might want to block them for privacy reasons.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because what if it's just like, I don't know. There's nobody that I'm stalking on Instagram, but I don't know. I'd imagine that might,
But so was there anybody on your list?
No, of course. No, not even my friends. Not even my friends. I literally do not have friends that give a fuck about what I do on anything.
Well, now you know. that's there. My other girlfriends had people on their list that looked very sus, but I didn't have any. So
I
yeah.
wonder what you have to do to get on there. Like, is it just if you know, if what if your profile's on private? What if because my profile's on private, so can people technically not even look at mine or?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I wonder what happens because if your profile's on private, people can go to your profile, but they can't see anything.
No, it has to be people that you don't follow and they don't follow you. So I guess that would make sense if your profile is private. Then, well, maybe not. Maybe not because they could still go to your profile and see that it's there. So I don't know if it's like those clicks matter. Actually, yeah, that would probably work.
That's what I mean. Yeah, if I
So
was gonna go like type in the profile of somebody whose profile is on private, and because all you can see is their picture. What if I went to their private profile every day? Like, would I start popping up on there?
I'm sure because that click itself would count, I would assume.
That's weird. That's so weird. I don't know. I hate when I hate now Instagram's got that new feature where you can see what your friends are liking when you're going through reels. You'll see that little thing in the top right corner and you can click on
Oh
it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate that too. All that stuff to me is just to cause fights between boyfriends and girlfriends. Like that's all that is. Now when a girl's scrolling through reels, she can see what her boyfriend likes. And dude, I don't give a fuck what my friends are liking.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't need to see that. And now whenever I go to
But
screen record a reel, that little fucking obnoxious the 3 pictures up at are up on the front. It's just
like early Instagram used to have that where like early Instagram or
yeah,
even
and I
like
didn't like it.
Facebook where you could see like so and so like this page or
Yeah, and I didn't like it. Instagram, the one thing that I think is fine is when you're scrolling through reels, it might on the bottom, it'll say like 2,000 people like this, and it might say like a mutual liked it. But I
Yeah.
don't need that whole thing in the top right corner with the 3, to look at that. It's the same with Snapchat. Remember Snapchat used to tell you your girlfriend the 3 people you were Snapchatting the most? That's also just meant to get boyfriends in
Yeah.
trouble. It's
Yeah,
all just like
pretty much.
invasive. They talk about it like, oh, it's for a connection, and no, dude, it's just fucking invasive, and it's just meant to cause drama. It's
I
weird.
don't really care for like how now you can add comments to stories.
Yeah, there's
That's
no
just
point. I can already message you about the story. Like, what do I need
yeah.
to?
I don't need to see everybody's public comments.
Yeah, the following activity page where
Yeah.
you can see what everyone that you follow is doing. It's
Well,
like,
it seems like they're trying to like bring back the old Instagram because it's like they got rid of the filters, but it's like too late for that. It's been like 15 years. We're well
yeah,
advanced now. You can't just make it what it used to be. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Instagram is not what it used to be. Instagram used to be my favorite, and it's still out of all of them now. It's still the one I use the most and that I like. The engagement is terrible, and that's not just me complaining. I have like 600 something followers, and I'm lucky if one of my reels gets like 3 likes, and it's like not to say that my shit is good, but I'm sorry, I do not believe that out of 600 people, only 3 people, liked
Yeah,
my fucking
no,
post.
those
They're just not
metrics don't
showing it
make
to them.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just don't show it to them. And I know it's not just me complaining because, like I said, you'll go see some model Instagram has like 2 million followers, and her post will get like 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, out of 2 million people, only 100,000 people liked a picture of this hot broad in her underwear. Like, I don't believe it. They're just not showing them, and it's all algorithm based. So you don't even see what most of the people that you follow are fucking posting.
Well, I wonder like over the next 10 years what the new websites will
Yeah.
be because I mean if you think about it like we've pretty much had Instagram since we were about 18.
Yeah.
So like going into our 30s now, what's going to be because it's like okay, when we were in like early elementary, pretty much like halfway through high school, there was MySpace.
MySpace.
And then coming out of a high, that's like almost, 10 years or whatever. And then coming out of high school up until now, we've had Instagram and Facebook. So I would think that, especially what's going on with social media right now, that there's going to be something new. I don't know, what that would be.
Yeah, Protomax, it's the same with YouTube. YouTube used to be, the motto used to be broadcast yourself, and it was just where you might make a stupid video and post it. But now it's everyone's on YouTube to make money and to make a living, which I would hope to eventually fucking do that, you know, so I'm not going to say it's stupid that everybody does it. Yeah, same thing. Instagram used to be a thing for friends to hang out. Now it's a friend for people to become influencers. I've
But do
always
you,
wondered what's going to come after Facebook because MySpace was not that popular for that long. MySpace was a flash in the pan, which I'm always sad about. I love
yeah,
MySpace, but Facebook has been like the dominant thing since we pretty much like our junior or senior year of high school. I always thought of MySpace and Facebook as kind of like the sun, and then surrounding it are Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, because
yeah,
Facebook is everything. Facebook is posts, long posts, short posts, updates, videos, pictures, this and that. Then there's Instagram that used to just be pictures. Now, you know, now everything is kind of just like a ripoff of TikTok, honestly. Like everything has shorts or reels or
yeah.
um but
I
yeah,
just
now that TikTok's gonna, because I'm pretty sure that after this 90 days, I don't think anyone's buying TikTok. I think we're gonna lose TikTok. I'm gonna lose CapCut again. It's gonna be terrible. You know, if
I
somebody,
feel like the only way that there could be like something else that's not Instagram or Facebook, there would have to be like the the age of the influencer would have to be on its way out, because that's, you know, what these apps are mainly for, these influencers now. So I mean, what I could kind of see with like what's going on with the state of the world, like if, you know, and just media itself, if that happens and people can't really be influencers anymore and have to get like a real job, then they might want to go back to the age of like MySpace, where you're just communicating to communicate with your friends, you know, instead of communicating for consumerism,
yeah.
which I wish would happen. Because I like MySpace. You go on, you just talk to your friends, you know, get excited about a friend request from someone at school. Like that's
MySpace was the best because MySpace was everything. All like MySpace was, like I said, it was pictures, videos, comments, private messages, music. It was great for music. And then all of a sudden, everything broke off into everything compartmentalized. Like here's Tumblr for blog posts, here's Instagram for pictures, here's YouTube for videos, here's Twitter for short posts. MySpace had it all. It was just everything all in one place. It was the most customizable thing. I always say that Facebook is proof that people are retarded and like things to be simple and stupid because MySpace was the most customizable thing ever. We were all fucking coding.
yeah.
We were making art. We were making art. We were making our own backgrounds. And then Mark Zuckerberg came out and he took it and he said, okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to strip it of everything and you're going to have no say in how it looks. It's going to be stupid and simple. And everybody said, yes, please, I'll take this. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
It's crazy how when we were kids, there was a period of time, well, when we were all so
Coding.
advanced, yeah, in HTML coding.
Yeah.
I don't remember shit about that anymore, but I remember being really good at it when I was a kid.
And there was a way I remember we got into like if a girl I had a crush on, if she hid her comments, there was you could go to their profile, go to the URL and type something in and it would show you all their comments. Like
Yeah,
you could yeah, no, it got pretty hard. We got hardcore about that shit. But then
yeah.
yeah, then Facebook came along and everybody said, "Oh, yeah, I'll take the stupid thing cuz I don't, you know, coding is hard or whatever the fucking excuse is." Minimum I remember I know we talked about this before, but I think Facebook won because of there's actually a great video on YouTube about why Facebook won out, and it really is just because MySpace kind of destroyed itself with all the pop-ups and ads and shit. It got very cluttered, but Facebook also came along when minimalism was a big thing.
Yeah.
Remember when we first got into MySpace, your profile was long and it was big and it had all this artwork and it was all cluttered. But then by the end of it, the dream MySpace was like maybe a white background with some polka dots. And
Just
uh,
the
if,
original layout that you get.
if you were good at it, you would make it to where there's no scrolling. Your page was just one
Yeah, no,
page.
I remember that like all like the really cool guys at school, it would just like their bio would just say something like hi, or you know, and then it's like, you know, they'd say something like ask me, you know, about
Yeah.
myself or whatever. Like, yeah, you were so cool if you had barely anything on your profile. You just had like a cool profile picture.
Do
That's
you
all you
remember? Do you remember? And this is near and dear to my heart. This was big drama at my school for a while. Do you remember Farm Spring?
No, what's that?
It was the first anonymous like, say anonymous things to people, type of deal. Like, that
Wait, why
ask.
do I do know that.
I know, it was legendary.
Yes, I do. I remember that.
It was,
I think I did it once and then somebody like, cuz people always fucked with you on
oh,
that.
Formspring was like, I would get a new girlfriend, and then the next day, I was getting messages like, "That fucking blonde whore that you're hanging out with, I
Yeah,
don't."
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Formspring was hardcore.
No,
Yeah, Protomax
like
minimalism is definitely the reason, especially like the
yeah.
logos. All the logos of companies all look stupid and simple now. They just look very stock in default. Yeah, Formspring was hardcore in my school. My ex-girlfriends got on me hard on Formspring. Um, I certainly shot off some hate to some of my
'Cause yeah,
ex-girlfriends on Formspring.
people could just talk shit anonymously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like I used it once and then like the first comment was just like your boyfriend's cheating on you and I was like, "Yep, nope." Like it's
Yeah.
just people would say terrible shit.
I loved that. I fucking love Formspring. They've got the new version now. It's like Ask or something. People
Oh
post to
yeah.
Ask Me Anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I've done that once or twice, but again, I don't really have a social life, so it's not like I had much going on. But if I had more followers on the disco page, I would do it there for fun. But yeah, I loved Formspring. That was big stuff back then. It was like formspring.me, and you just all it was a profile picture, and then people could just come in and type in whatever they want, and you'd get the messages, and you didn't know who it was, but you're calling my
Yeah.
new girlfriend a whore, so I can kind of tell you're my ex-girlfriend because stuff like that. And then yeah,
Yes.
you'd get stuff like, "Hey, I saw your girlfriend yesterday. She was out with doing this with this guy." Yeah, that was big stuff in my high school for the time it was big.
It's terrible. Yeah, no, I do remember that.
I like that
Oh,
thrill. It was drama. It was a thrill.
yeah. No, there was so much like yeah, so much drama during like the whole early MySpace days. Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, no, I only use Formstring. I remember getting one comment and it was just like Cody's cheating on you. And I was like, no, he's not.
He
And so
probably
then
was.
I don't know. I don't
What if
think
it was
so.
him? What if it was his way? It was his way of telling
I
you.
don't know. I don't know who wrote that comment, but whatever. Whatever. That
Yeah,
was
that shit was.
I don't know. It was probably like 15. That was
Yeah, that shit was
crazy.
big. That shit was big
But yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I mean, I just, yeah, I don't, it'll be interesting to see where social media goes over the next 10 years because how far will like the, rise of consumerism go with it and these influencers? Because I want to know, like, okay, so you have hundreds of thousands of people that are saying they're influencers. Like, these aren't fucking real jobs. Like, what are these people going to do when they're in their 50s and 60s? I guess they could do marketing,
Yeah,
but
I've been curious too for a while. What's the next big platform going to be? And then yeah, and then we're almost there. If TikTok again, if no one buys ByteDance in the next 90 days, TikTok influencers are
but
going to
I
have to.
wonder like how will a new because we've seen so many times so far where people are like there's this new app and then everybody jumps on it for like maybe 2 or 3
Yeah.
days and then they're like no and they retract. How would we have a new app where everybody latches onto it because all the apps right now are owned by the wealthiest people on the planet,
Yeah,
so
there would just need to be a lucky one. People kind of started going to Blue Sky, but then it was the Blue Sky thing is hilarious because I remember I saw some news article like the week that Blue Sky popped off, there was stuff about like Blue Sky's having a problem with pedophiles and death threats. Like those have been like running rampant on Blue Sky. And then there's another one, Threads. Threads was a thing for like 2 hours.
yeah.
Um
Yeah.
Threads
Yeah.
is funny because that's the people that, they hate that Elon Musk owns Twitter. I hate that I don't call it X. It's not X, it's fucking Twitter. But the thing that's funny to me about
Yeah.
Twitter now is they'll complain Elon ruined it, and I'm like, it's literally the same fucking like it's still I still use it. There's nothing wrong with it. And people are like, oh, it's all right wing problem. Like, dude, I see way more left wing shit on Twitter than I do. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not being fed all this right wing. Like, I don't believe people to say this. People are also talking about. Have you seen that stuff people are talking about? I think it's Instagram and Twitter. They're saying that they just woke up one day and they were following JD Vance and they never really followed him. I don't believe those
Yeah,
people.
I
I'm
heard about
sorry, I don't believe
that.
these people.
So, like, a lot of people I know have been saying that that happened to them, but then I went and checked and I wasn't
Yeah,
following
I'm like,
them.
I don't believe you.
So,
They're making it like, remember when U2 put their album on your phone and you didn't ask for it? This is like the
yeah,
JD
yeah.
Vance version. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, no, I think it's just a trend and people are just saying it because they want to, they're acting like it's right wing oppression. They're forcing you to follow him. And I'm like, dude, show me the proof.
Yeah.
Like, you can't show me the proof because for all I know, you just went and followed him and then told me that that's what happened. But, yeah, Twitter is still fine. It's just, they're just mad that Elon owns it. So they, everybody got all hyped on Threads for like an hour. Now nobody actually gives a fuck about, Threads is not that
Yeah.
great. But yeah, it's just gonna have to be lightning in a bottle type shit. One of these days, some college kid will make a new platform and it'll stick. But until then,
It it has to be, yeah, somebody new. I mean, like Tom from MySpace, he was just like a guy that,
and that's the story behind
made
Mark
a
Zuck I've heard it.
space.
I actually really want to look into it. There's a Mark Zuckerberg conspiracy theory that he didn't actually make Facebook. He was just like the CIA created it. I don't know if that's the theory, but something along those lines. The powers that be created it, and they kind of just picked him and said, "You're going to be the guy that is the Facebook guy." But that's the story of Mark Zuckerberg. He was just a college kid one day. He was just drunk and he made Facebook. So it'll be another story like that. It could be tomorrow, it could be in
Yeah.
5 years, but eventually something will have to come because we can't just keep doing Facebook and Instagram forever.
I think what'll probably happen is because Zuckerberg is working so closely with Trump now, I'm sure that's gonna kind of play out in a way where people, because I've even started to see things on Instagram where people are like, okay, what's the new app? Like, we need a new app, but like, we need everybody on board, but nobody, it seems like people want to go somewhere else, but there's nowhere to go because there's just so many people on Instagram, so they just stick around. So it kind of seems like it's just a matter of time.
Proto Max, yeah, that would actually make absolute sense, and people are just stupid.
I thought that
People are just
too.
stupid and don't realize, like, hey, the accounts change when when the office changes or when the person changes. That's probably exactly what it is, and people just are too stupid to realize that Kamala Harris doesn't actually own the vice presidential Twitter account. It changes to reflect who the vice president is. Um, yeah, no, it's the times have to change. It has to progress. MySpace didn't last forever. Facebook has lasted a really long time. Nowadays, Facebook is definitely uncool. I'm still on Facebook, but all I really
Yeah,
see is
it's old
I
people.
there are girls that
It's
still post on Facebook like it's like there's a girl that I'm friends with that I've never met in real life, but she's like local to me and I think she's hot. And she literally just complains about life and posts like memes and shit. Like there are still some people on there, but it's generally, that's where your
it,
family is.
I, yeah, I feel like Facebook is predominantly for like middle-aged to older folks. I don't post on Facebook at all, but I use it regularly because I like to be in the know of like what other people are doing. And I think Facebook is great if you want to get in communication with
Yeah.
people. And if you want to like host an event, you send out event invites. I think it's really great for that. But like the days of like, like early Facebook days where it would say like your name and then and then you would type in the bar. It's like you don't do that
Yeah.
anymore. So it's like who gives a
Yeah, early
shit?
Facebook was cooler than Facebook today.
Because like it's funny how like on Facebook they will consistently share like your memories, like, oh, remember this from 12 years ago? And I'm always like deleting them, like, God, that was so cringe. Why did I say that so
Yeah, I got
publicly?
I got some cringe Facebook memories, but I like the Facebook memories because I have a lot of good stuff on there. I never had a Vine. I never got onto the Vine trend, and Facebook Marketplace is actually really good. I will say I've used Marketplace a couple times, and you can find what you
Oh
need
yeah,
on Marketplace, or anytime I've sold something on there, it's like within fucking a day of posting it, somebody has hit me up to buy it.
yeah, no, I love Marketplace. That too is
There
fantastic.
there was one time on I don't remember if it was Facebook Marketplace or some other sales site. I was with my ex-girlfriend. We were on heroin and we needed to sell our TV. very classic junkie story. We needed to sell our TV to buy heroin because we were sick. And we listed the TV, and some girl, it was a girl, some girl was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take it." And then like a couple hours later, we went to meet up with her, and she messages, "Can I eat your pussy?" And we were like, "Oh no," because we're sick. Like we need to sell this fucking TV. And that was terrible. I remember my ex girlfriend was like, "No, are you gonna buy the fucking TV or not?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm still gonna buy it. I'm sorry. I got, oh yeah, I'll still buy it." And then she never ended up hitting her back.
What?
But that was a very funny story. I can't remember. I don't think that was Marketplace. I think it
That's
was one of those other like
wild.
sell your stuff websites. But
Like OfferUp or
I feel like it was
Craigslist?
OfferUp. Imagine being a lesbian trying to get down on some box
You
on OfferUp.
it's it's crazy how, like, Craigslist is just not a thing anymore. Like, if you think of Craigslist, like, that's specifically for, like,
Yeah,
criminals and
it's for
pedophiles, like
prostitution and murder.
yeah, but, like, there was a period of time where, like, we were all
Yeah.
using it to go buy stuff, and I always loved, what was it called on Craigslist where it was like
Missing
missed
connections.
connections or something like that? Yes, yes, I love that. And so, um, funny enough, I had a friend, yes, that like posted on missed connections, like, hey, like somebody come meet me at this exact intersection at this time. And so this random girl on the internet, like saw that and just like they crossed paths while they were crossing the intersection and then they met up and then they've been friends to this day 20 years later.
That's
So
actually pretty awesome.
yeah. But yeah, no, I loved missed connections, because you could just say like, oh, to the brunette I saw at Starbucks
It
here. If you're out there, let
it's a
me
good
know.
idea. There's a girl I wish I could have done that for. I think I've mentioned this before. We played a house show one time back in my last band. We played a house show in Martinez. It was either Martinez or Walnut Creek, and there was a girl there. I thought she was really pretty. And I just kinda wussed out of talking to her until I drank enough and took enough Percocet. I think it was Vicodin. I was taking Vicodin pills that night. I finally, hit my spot, and I went back into the garage where the gig was happening to find her, and she had left. And I also could not find her on, the event page. That's how you found people. You go to the Facebook event page, but she was not there. She just disappeared forever, and I never found her. So that would have been a good idea to hit up missing connections. Be like, yeah, remember the house show last night? Fucking, were you this girl? But yeah, Craigslist also kind of just became like the classifieds. Whereas, like, if you were in a band and you needed a guitar player, you might post a thing on Craigslist. But yeah,
Yeah.
nowadays, yeah, Craigslist is not. It's
The one thing I love about Craigslist is to this day, it still has the
I'm
same
looking at it right now. Yeah.
look. Like they have not changed the website at all.
I wonder how much hookups actually happen on Craigslist. Like, you could probably find a bunch of gay people on Craigslist nowadays.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, no, that is nice. It is very
Craigslist.
simple. It is a very simplistic looking website.
Like, do people still use this? They have like Lost and Found. They have everything on here. Services, local news. But do people really still use this that
I bet old
often?
people do.
Old people do, but there's so many scams. I guess that's why the scammers come here because there's so
Yeah,
many
that's why
old
old
people.
people get scammed so much.
Oh, missed connections. Here we go. Here we go. Let's chat, Beverly Hills.
There's a section called rants and raves. That's under communities.
This is
There's a whole
crazy.
musicians section too. Like, there's a saxophone player in Elk Grove looking for a gig right now.
Okay, here's one. I got one. Where is it located? LA. Black glasses with black hair. I was walking down the street across the Starbucks. I went inside the Starbucks and I saw you. You were wearing blue clothing and black shoes. You are so cute. I think our eyes accidentally met each other when I was looking at you. You smiled and I looked away. They called my order and I picked up my drinks. We were very, very close when I picked up my drinks. I wanted to say you are so beautiful. I don't know if this will get to you, but I'm glad I did this. And then he says, I'm Filipino, I'm clean, and I haven't had any experiences with an Asian girl. If there's any Asian girls that want to chill,
Oh,
let me know.
jeez. Direct eye contact. What's
This is
up? One time I was looking for a place to
crazy.
live, looked on Craigslist for a new place. I found a too good to be true place and emailed the guy that sent me more pictures. I saw the pictures and thought, wait, I've been in this house. Yeah, finish the story. I want to hear the rest of this. Oh, we should do a stream where we just fucking read missing connections on Craigslist articles.
Yeah, this is so
That turns out it was
funny.
my friend's house. They were selling it and someone
Who
stole
is
their
this?
pics off of the realtor and tried to rent it out in the scam. Yeah, Craigslist has to be like at least 30 to 40% scams. Maybe like 10 to 20% like
Yeah.
hookers or like gay dudes hooking up. Uh, you know, it's got to be crazy now. What are
Okay, here's one. Amazon woman at LA Fitness in Beverly
Amazon like a big
Hills.
woman?
Yes, it says I'm the middle-aged white man bench pressing and offered you to spot. I could not concentrate because I was looking at your tits. I hope to see you again.
Perfect.
I love these.
I can't imagine.
This is
Like, imagine. These have to be old people because I can't imagine a 20-year-old thinking, I know, I'll post on the missing connections Craigslist. And that 19-year-old girl at Starbucks will look at this. 45% scam, 25% hookups, 30% people overcharging for stuff they want to get rid of. Yeah, pretty much. And it's got to be mostly older people, like I said. You're not, you're not finding 20-year-olds on Craigslist. They've all moved to Facebook
Oh no,
Marketplace.
they probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the younger generation probably doesn't even know what the fuck Craigslist is. I mean,
Yeah.
the Craigslist killer really changed a lot of things. Who the fuck thinks that people are gonna hop on Craigslist and see this shit? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you really think that girl from Starbucks is gonna just be cruising through a Craigslist one day and be like, "Oh my god, it's that guy that I made eye contact with at Starbucks 4 days ago."
Oh my god. Oh, this one.
It's gotta be more so just for venting.
Oh my god, this one's crazy. Okay, this one's crazy. Westwood. So Westwood's near Beverly Hills. To the Westwood big girl. I have seen you a few times at your condo in Westwood, just recently outside, and you were going in. I know you want me. You're so big. Let me feed you what you crave.
Like, he's saying the girl is so big?
Yeah, like he likes fat chicks, so he wants to feed her.
Wants to feed her that fucking wiener. Phones kill people's understanding of how computers, the internet works. Yeah, it's true. The way that people kind of associate the internet with the phone nowadays. It's like, dude, the internet doesn't just come from your phone. Like, the internet is a chubby chaser. Yeah, chubby chasers, you gotta respect them. I'm not, I'm obviously, I've talked about it a lot of times. I'm not a chubby chaser, but
This
you
is
gotta admire their game. Yeah, dude, Craigslist.
oh, there's also rants and
Yeah, I just
raves.
mentioned that.
Oh
People
yeah,
just talk
okay.
about stuff.
Yeah, you could just like complain on the internet. I guess it's kind of like a missed connections. You could complain about
I wanna find
anything.
the hookup section. Like, what section is hooking up under? It's gotta be under something.
Is there, well, I'm seeing them all under misconnections, like man for man.
Oh.
They're yeah. I'm seeing a lot of them under the misconnections. But I do remember that there was like a dating thing where you could look like man for man, woman for woman, all
That's
that
what I'm
kind of
saying. There used
stuff.
to be, like, a whole section, it was called
Oh, you know what? It's probably under the discussion forums. I don't know. Or unless they removed it. I don't know. Otherwise I'm seeing it all under the connections
I wanna
one.
find some good wife swap offers. Like, who's trying to trade wives for the night?
Or unless it's under like local news, lost and found.
I'm in
What's the
general right now, but I don't think it's under general. Depressed and need help organizing my house. That's definitely, something that's a good one.
There you go.
Galaxy A12 with TikTok. People are also selling their phones with TikToks on on Craigslist. You're probably not gonna find anyone because on Craigslist, everybody is 40 years old or older.
Oh, they also have
Yeah,
musicians.
yeah, I went to the musicians
Interesting.
one. That's where I found the saxophone player in Elk Grove.
Who's going on here and looking for friends? Like a lot of these are saying like I'm looking for friends, new friends.
Lonely people at the end of their rope looking for anything like, Craigslist. What else,
But that's giving like school shooter vibes, like the last resort.
Yeah, but that's just some people, they're just that desperate. Like, I'm that desperate. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm not on Craigslist looking for friends, but I could see why people would get to that point. Those are good ads if you need side work or a place to stay, trade for room slash
You
board.
know what? I wonder like do you think a lot of these are real or are these just other people like fucking around and making them for
I
a
doubt
joke?
people go on Craigslist just for jokes. That's more probably like these are like Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. On Craigslist, it really probably is like, dude, it's probably like a 50-year-old man who's like, I'm lonely. I remember Craigslist from back when I sold my grill 10 years ago.
What is
What's the difference between
this?
naming yourself direct eye contact and finding random streams to chat in? What's the difference then? You mean between naming yourself direct eye contact and finding random streams to chat in? I don't know. What is are you asking me, or is there a punchline? Get to the punchline. I'm curious. Same thing. I did notice that you follow the Twitch. That's good. That's awesome. I'm glad that you did that. I need to get more followers on the Twitch. I don't do much on the Twitch, but I would like to boost the Twitch.
This one says construction guys needed, LA. You came over during your lunch before or after work to release. You have amazing skills. Please come over again. To release.
That sounds like a sex thing.
Yeah, it
Wait, what
is.
section are you in?
Misconnections.
Okay.
That's where I'm seeing it all, yeah.
Oh, direct eye contact. Are you saying that what you're doing is like the equivalent of somebody on Craigslist, like looking to like talk to people? Like you're looking to just like hang out, so you're in random Twitch streams? So much of daily life is playing a character, and sometimes people just want to be
Oh my
themselves.
God. White woman seeks white seed.
That's awesome.
I seek regular white seed deposits. I'm a woman that's 40. Come to my place.
I should hit her up.
That's one way to word that. That's insane.
I should hit her up. There's got to be a requirement. Like, what if it's an ugly guy?
It's a woman that's 40. She's looking for white
Also,
seed.
40. You're getting into risky territory having a kid at 40. Or maybe she wants the seed just to have. Maybe she's not looking to have a kid. I think some.
She's just gonna keep it in a
Yeah, exactly. 40 is too risky. But maybe she just wants the seed. Maybe she's not looking to have a kid. She's just trying. Maybe she's hungry. She's looking to eat the seeds.
That's disgusting.
There was an article. I wish I had saved it. It was like a Reddit post. My friend likes to send me like funny Reddit posts, and it was like one of those Reddit posts that was like, confessions, like get some stuff off your chest to a bunch of strangers. And it was some girl who was like, I've been married to my husband for 10 years, and I haven't told him that I used to do like gangbangs with 10 black guys, and he knows he thinks I
Wow.
like waited until marriage. And she went crazy, and she was like, I used to love the taste of cum. I used to let dudes cum on my food before I eat it. I used to bang like 20 guys at a time. Should I tell him? It's been 10 years that
Wow.
we've been married. Should I tell him, or should I just keep not saying anything? And it was a fun Reddit. There's a lot of funny shit on Reddit. I know I've talked about it before here on stream too, like a couple months ago. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to people that believe they have multiple personality disorder, and it's
Oh,
crazy
fun.
stories about people that like have giant cities in their heads, and it's like dudes that are like 40 that go to work and say they became an 8-year-old at work, and now they don't know what to do and they need to go home, and it's bizarre. Reddit kind of is like the
What?
new like misconnect. Reddit is kind
It
of just without
is.
selling
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Reddit is pretty
You
wild.
don't want to be tied down to some chick that's been ran through and puts you on child support while you don't get to see your child who quite possibly has developmental issues. Oh Jesus, it's a bad bet, but there are desperate men that would do it. Yeah, there's a guy out there. I always say there is a guy out there for any fucking girl. There's ever since I always mention it, ever since I saw the pregnant stripper at the strip club making money, there is always a guy who is
That's
down.
disgusting. Oh, that's gnarly. Oh my god.
I'm at the point where I would just rather not. I'd rather just be lonely than, find like a 40-year-old woman who's asking for a white seed on Craigslist. I'll watch movies. I'll keep pursuing a streaming career until I die before I start hanging out with 40-year-old women that want white seeds. Not gonna lie, pregnant sex is pretty
Oh,
fun.
God.
I've never been with a girl that's pregnant. I would be scared, actually. I'd be nervous about, like, being too rough. Like, what if you shake the baby around? What if you get on top and it's, I got 2 kids. Okay, so you've been around the block, so you know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, like, what is there any concern? Is there any concern about roughing up the baby? Is there any concern about, doing some damage there, or is that I'd imagine once you've done it the first time, it's like once you have 1 kid, the second kid, you got experience, you know what you can and can't do. There
So, and
I was gonna say there's a
yeah,
lot of horror stories, on YouTube. I like those videos where it's just like a narrator reading horror stories that are like real life stories that he finds on the internet, and there's a lot of Craigslist, videos of a dude, like, looking to buy a table on Craigslist, and he shows up to the house, and there's somebody with a knife, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So, I think we're gonna go to. Okay, so there's like tons of museums in LA. So I asked Nick if he wants to go to the Holocaust Museum or the Academy of Motion Picture, which we've been to before. And his response was that he wanted to go to the Holocaust Museum because he wants to see the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
all the shoes of the family's victims and shit.
He was like, I just want to see the shoes. So I guess we're gonna go look at the
That
shoes.
would be cool. I'm
I've
like
never.
I'm a history nerd. I used to say history buff, but then an old guy called me out one time, and I didn't know all the dates and years and shit, so I'm a history nerd. Anytime I do get to learn about specifically American history, I'm down for it. So I'd be down in World War II. Every man over the age of
Yeah,
25 loves World War II history, so that makes sense.
yeah. Well, this is just, I don't know about all the slaughter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, World War II. World War II
so
was a crazy time. I think World War II is really the beginning of the American empire and the beginning of America kind of becoming an evil. I mean, I don't know if I'd say fully evil, but that's kind of when we got too big for our britches. Like we decided that we were the motherfuckers that are running shit, and we're gonna start fucking over our own people. The company IBM, specifically their product Watson, was designed by the Nazis to keep track of all the concentration camps, confiscated goods. IBM, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the shoes is, I'm surprised there are museums that still have shoes. That's surprising.
yeah, there's like hundreds of them, but like I just know of it because on the latest season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, there is an episode where Larry David goes there and something happens where like he loses his shoe. And so he sees the shoes and so he just grabs a pair and like walks out and then like that's the whole episode is that like he stole a pair of
Oh,
shoes from the Holocaust Museum, but he was like, I needed shoes. I don't have
there's
shoes.
a good little shot in, one of my favorite movies, House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie, when one of the cops and the father of one of the victims, and both of these people become victims in a few minutes, but they get to the main, the main villain is a murderous family, and they get to the house and they
Hmm.
walk in through a door and it's like a room full of shoes, and they've killed all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, World War II started in America becoming the global police, which is now biting us in the ass, giving more money to Israel and Ukraine than our own fucking people. Crazy talk. Yeah, Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, once we got into nuclear bombs, that's when America kind of like shit started changing. America thought of itself as God as opposed to, you know, as opposed to a country that follows any kind of God, like we became God. Did you know that Curb Your Enthusiasm helped exonerate an innocent man for murder? Did you know that? I didn't type that story up.
I feel like I did know that.
What's the documentary called?
but I
Annie will for
I,
sure watch that
I,
shit.
don't- I don't remember the story, but I feel like I knew that.
What
Don't
is
know. But
is it?
no,
I've never watched Curb Your
yeah.
Enthusiasm. What is it? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh man. It's so good. Like so I've been watching Curb since it came out in like 2000 because my dad was super into it. It's literally about Larry David, the creator of Seinfeld. And then it's just like it's kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen like Entourage, but it's kind of like about like his day-to-day life and just like the craziness that he gets himself into. And so he just puts himself in a lot of like weird situations that are hilarious. And then because he actually is in the TV business in the show, he plays himself. And so there's a lot of other celebrities and it's his day-to-day life in Los Angeles. And then, of course, there's like a group of celebrities that he consistently hangs out with that are a part of the show as well. It's so fucking funny. It's really good. It's on HBO.
So you want to hear
though.
the I guess the most embarrassing part? Because of the word curb, like a curb outside of a house. I always thought Curb Your Enthusiasm was like an HGTV show about like like house hunters or some shit.
No.
So it's just a comedy.
No. Yeah, no, it's just a comedy. It's great. Yeah. No, I've been watching Curb since I was a child. It's so funny. Just because he just puts himself in like ridiculous situations. But yeah, like the shoes at the Holocaust Museum. It's a lot of that.
Dude, you guys still need to go to the Museum of Death.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Holocaust Museum because I was looking at my family tree and I have like a bunch of family members that were shot in a field.
Like
So
specifically, they were shot in a field.
yeah, did you not see my post? I like made a post about it the other day on my story. But no, so like my father's family is quite small because a lot of them were killed during the war. Basically what happened was is like in the like late 30s, early 40s, like some of them decided to go overseas to America, and then the other ones that stayed in Latvia were literally they were shot. Like so what happened was is I was looking at my dad always told me that I had a bunch of family members that were killed by the Nazis. And so I came upon my family tree the other day. So I opened it up, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of pictures of people that were all killed at the exact same time, like women, children, everybody. And so I looked, they all had the same, it was all the same town. So I typed in the town name 1941, and apparently there was this like famous event called the Les Pages massacres where in this one town the Nazis came in, they literally just grabbed the Jews out, shot them in the head in a field or like in the city center, and like threw them in a pit. So basically my whole family was a part of this event. So I thought it was interesting that it's like a known thing, but I wanted to go to the museum to see if they had any information about it. But it was cool because like I was looking at my family tree, and my uncle made it like 20 years ago, and there's all these photos of the people that passed away. But it's crazy because like there were even like babies that were
Yeah.
killed. So it's like wild that they were just like shooting babies in the head.
Oh yeah.
Like that's gnarly.
All right, yeah, Long Shot. That's the documentary. When I looked it up, it says Long Shot. It's a short documentary film about how Juan Catalan was arrested for a murder he did not commit. Curb Your Enthusiasm contains raw footage that was instrumental in proving his innocence. Having a big chunk of your family, I mean, I'm sure that's like a story that a lot of Jewish people have. A lot of their families were probably wiped out in World War II.
Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like because so much of like my paternal line was killed, that there's only like very few women on that side of the family. So I'm like one of the only matriarchs on my father's side because everybody was just killed.
And you're not gonna have
Um,
kids, so your
recently.
family line is kinda going out with you.
Yeah, no, I do have like one cousin and he has a
Okay.
son. So he's like 5 or 6 now, but like I told my cousin, like, your son is the only the only hope if this
So,
family
I actually was
survives.
thinking about this recently. I'm actually kinda depressing. I'm pretty sure my last name is probably gonna die out with me. My siblings have different last names than me. You know, we have different, paternal figures. I think paternal is the right word. And I'm now 31, and it's not looking like I'm gonna be, reproducing anytime soon. I don't want to once I'm, like, past the age of I never wanted to have kids past the age of 30. I wanted to have all my kids between, like, 27 and
Yeah.
31 or 32, but I'm, completely single, not really in a situation where I should be getting into serious relationships. Don't even have any prospects. Yeah, I'm, like, pretty sure my last name might go out with me, like, I might be the last,
But I could see you as one of those guys that's like 45 and having a kid then. And like you have like a really
so
young
that's
wife
so
or
this is the thing is
girlfriend.
I don't want to date a girl that's, like, the oldest girl I would date now is a girl that's my exact age. So if I'm 40 and I'm still single, I'm gonna try to find a girl in her 20s, and that's gonna get rough because that's, if you don't have much to offer, there's no reason. Even now, if I tried to date a girl that's like in her 20s, the whole point of dating an older guy is just, what does he have to offer? Like that's kind of half the point. I'm certainly not as attractive as I was when I was in my 20s, so it's not like I'm gonna pull a girl based on my raw good looks.
Well, you could be like a sperm donor. You
That's
could
not how I
do
want to
that.
pass on my name. But yeah,
That's one way.
I mean, never say never. I could meet a girl that's like 35 tomorrow and fall in love completely. But I was just talking to my buddy about this yesterday. It just sounds fucking weird. Like, dude, imagine meeting a person in their 30s. Like, that's a lot of life to catch up on. Like, I have to get to know you. I have to get to know all the guys that have fucked you before, in the last 30 years, which let's be real, 30 years is probably a good amount. I have to, the whole point of getting married is you're supposed to meet in your 20s and then you're supposed to like grow up together. You're supposed to now in your 30s you're pretty much set in your ways. You've got your routines and your habits. I throw my clothes over here. I do this, to me the whole I had the best this sucks. I had the best situation. I met the girl I was supposed to marry when I was 21, which to me is like ideal timing. We could have got married by the time we were like 27 or whatever. Shit was like perfectly laid out for me. The universe basically handed me exactly what I want, and I just fucking threw it all away. But yeah, it's just like, dude, imagine meeting someone in their fucking 30s and being like, God, and I have to get to know all this fucking shit about you. I have to try to change myself, and you have to try to change yourself for us to like fit with each other. Like we didn't grow up together, so there's nothing we have really that's gonna, mutually kind of work out or around or whatever. Don't date sluts, easy mode. Yeah, so that's the funny thing is that sometimes sluts are the way to go. But generally when it comes to like marrying a girl, yeah. What you want, the ideal girl is what I call God, we're gonna get into like some goofy shit. The best girls are low body count whores. That's like the term you should use. Girls that are low body counts, but they will do whatever the fuck you want them to do. That's the ideal if you're gonna talk about, like, dating sluts or not sluts. You can find, this guy what did you say up here? You said, something about you used the ran through term, which I know is like a dating show term. I've watched some of those dating shows. But yeah, you gotta find a girl that has not been, banged out by the entire town that you live in, but she has to do whatever, she has to be whorish in her actions. It's like the best way that I can put it. Okay, hold on. Now we got a lot of stuff going on here. I gotta try to get through this. 8 years, my 20s with a woman, got married. She divorced me after 6 months. Jesus Christ, that she wasn't in love with me and hadn't been for 5 years. That's fucking rough. Literally got my second girlfriend pregnant 3 months in. Spent 4 years with her. Left her. Spent 7 years alone to work on me. Uh, I won't say anything bad about you or doing that. I always think the whole, like, "I need to be alone to work on myself" thing is kind of a cop out. I think that's just something people say when they're single to, like it's cope. It's like you're trying to make it sound like you're choosing like, I'm not choosing to be single. The shit's miserable. I don't like being lonely. But I love those girls, girls will always do it. Like, I just wanna focus on me. I want First of all, working on yourself, what that means is thinking. You know what I mean? You're not, like, picking up a hammer and, doing work. You're thinking. You're doing a lot of thinking. But, you can work on yourself when you're with someone. Then I found my person. She has 5 kids. I have 2. We're adults, only in a relationship with each other. That would be ideal too. Like, I would be more likely to get with a girl with kids if I had kids of my own, or it's more balanced. We're both bringing these little fucking brats into the relationship. But since I don't have kids, this girl tried to kill this guy. Okay, working on my career. See, that's more understandable. You're right. You're rising the ranks. You're actually working. You are actually metaphorically picking up the hammer, working on being a good dad. And yeah, and if you have kids, that makes more sense. But girl sending you to jail twice and then trying to kill you, that sounds like some crazy shit. How old were you, Annie, when you met Nick? His name's Nick. I can never remember his name.
Yeah.
I finally followed him back on
Well,
Instagram.
I've known Nick since we were 18, but we only got together when I was like 27.
27 is better than so my whole thing is always I either wanted to be married or be with the girl I'm going to marry by the time I'm 30. That was always my thing.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, I like I've told you, like I've known him for, since high school, but he had been asking me out since high school, and I always said no. And then 6 months into dating, that's when he proposed because he was like, I've been waiting like 12 years for this. So I was like, that's so sweet.
that's
Okay.
awesome.
So it was just like that, like Vegas, let's go, hitched.
Yeah, see, that's I would say that's an ideal, like, I would have also taken that situation too. Um, yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, I quite literally had exactly what I wanted, like, handed directly to me. I always hate the saying people will say, "Oh, then it just wasn't meant to be." Like, no, that's not fucking true. The universe can give you things and you can blow them. That's like if I won the lottery, I can blow all the money. That doesn't mean I wasn't meant to have the money. That just means I was stupid and I blew all the money. Like, this shit was meant to be. I
Yeah.
was just stupid and I blew it. And I don't necessarily think that the universe gives you what you want more than once. I think the universe hands you what's meant to be. And if you fuck it up, like, well, that sucks. You fucked up. You're gonna have to go settle. I'm gonna have to go find some fat 40-year-old girl.
That wants
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
received.
better hit up that Craigslist girl because that's the best I'm getting. Ever since I knew how babies were made, I wanted to be a father, and I wanted to be a better father to my kids than my dad was to me. That seems like a pretty common thing when people have bad dads. They would be my kids, so I'm doing better than him. Yeah, that's awesome. I commend you on that. I commend you on that. I have 2 people on YouTube, it says. No, my thing is wrong. Somebody stopped by for like a second and heard me complaining about the universe not giving me what I wanted, and then they left. There are funny times when somebody will pop up randomly on YouTube and I'll be talking about like oh yeah, fuck fat girls, and then I'll like the number will drop immediately. Like, oh, they came at the wrong time.
All right. Well, I think I am gonna head out because it's 8.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably you can click off whenever. I'll sit here for another however many minutes and see what happens. I might get out of here soon too though.
So next week, are you gonna go on with Trey? What happened to him?
He just had his kids. He had his kids that night. Usually Wednesdays he gets some time away. He said if he has the
Okay.
kids, they'll be running in the room. What's this? What are you doing? So it was just that. I was gonna come out of field, but I was browsing Netflix earlier and I found a cool new Japanese sitcom. Yeah, tell me about the Japanese sitcom. But yeah,
All right. I'll
are you gonna
see
come on
later.
next week?
Yeah, I'll be here. I won't have to work late next week.
Okay.
It was just a weird thing today. All right.
Right on. Later. Hot Spot is about some lady that works at a hotel near Mount Fuji who meets an alien. Oh, that sounds kind of fun, actually. A sitcom about an alien. That definitely gives off some kind of like American Dad vibes. I hate the term vibes. I can't believe I just said that. That's one of those words that when it first started being used, it worked. It was a good word to use, and then white girls ruined it. right girl white girls to talk about how the vibes are off and I can't date this guy because he doesn't bring good vibes and just gets ruined. There's only one episode right now. Okay, so it's a brand new show. Yeah, vibes is one of those words that needs to die. Yeah, it's overused. It's oh, I say bruh. I say bruh all the time. I say bruh and I say bro. Well, no, I use those words when I'm on a roll. I use them more when I'm sitting here talking to myself. If I say bruh, it's because I'm like speaking about something that's ridiculous, honestly. But bro, I used to use that word a lot. It slips out. It definitely slips out sometimes just because I used to say it so much. I try not to nowadays, but I definitely slip. I type bruh more than I say it out loud, actually. Like I'll text it when I'm talking about something. Yeah, girls calling you bro is the worst. That is honestly, that gets annoying when a girl calls you bro. American Dad. Yeah, American Dad is really good. I used to watch American Dad a lot. Vibes is tough. I hate when I accidentally say it. Yeah, sometimes it just comes out. Bro from a chick is cancer. Yeah, yeah. Girls calling you bro, that is something that needs to die. That is something that needs to go away because it's not, yeah, it's just not their word to say. To me, the whole point of saying bro is like when it's a dude talking to another dude. Like that's like the whole point of the fucking word. I think girls just like to do things that guys do. They like to try to act like they are one of the guys, which is fine. Some girls pull that off really well. But some girls are very obnoxious about trying to be one of the guys, and it just, doesn't work out so well. Bro and bro are sick, I can't agree with that take. Yeah, like I said, bruh, I type bruh more than I say it. Sometimes I try to say bruh, and then it just comes out as bro because I'm talking so fast and, like, not paying attention to what I'm saying. I think I say dude a lot. I think I say man. I definitely say man a lot. The popular term for a friend changes every 2 to 4 years. Yeah, that's true. What are we on right now? Decided to pick a word and stick with it, so I call everybody bub. When I got older, I started calling people bud, like BUD instead of the B. I call some people bud. I use bud for sure sometimes. I remember this girl was in the back in the day, always called me bro, and I drove home and cried on my own hanging out with her. Jesus. It's funny, when I was, like, in high school, I always thought if a girl calls me dude or man, that means, like, she's friend zoned me, but nowadays, I don't believe that. I ended up dating girls that would call me dude or I would call them dude. I think that is just how some people talk. So when I was younger, yeah, I remember I would like get in fights with my girlfriend and be like, "You just called me dude. Like you can't call me dude. Like you're supposed to call me, whatever." But now I hope my girlfriend calls me dude. I think that's kind of the friendship I aspire to have with a person. Boss. Yeah, a lot of people use boss. I don't use boss, but I'm kind of jealous of the people that can pull off boss when you call other people boss. I think that's a good one. I've always liked it. It's just never naturally rolled off my tongue. I use boss with delivery people. Yeah, using boss for people that are doing a job, like working for you. I think that's a good because it kind of evens the playing field. It's like, yeah, I see that you're taking my order, you're working for me, but I'm still, I'm still kind of, giving you the respect. Yeah, exactly what you're saying in your later comments. They have a hard job, so it's nice way to showing some respect. Yeah, I can dig that. Doesn't necessarily mean friend zone, but I don't think it's a good sign. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's a bad sign, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes that really is just how girls talk. Oh man, I gotta work on this fucking video tomorrow. I have a couple takes from yesterday saved that I didn't like, but I'm gonna watch them tomorrow, and I might, maybe like the next day I like them more. So I might be able to edit them together already. But it's funny, the part that I'm taking so long on is literally just the beginning. Like I still have to run through the whole plot of the movie. This video is still gonna take a long time. I really might make the ranking video like before I even do this one just to like at least put something out. That long shot documentary is actually pretty short. It's a fun watch. Yeah, I might check it out. Annie would be the one to check it out before I did. I It's hard to get me to watch things. People complain about that all the time. Everybody recommends stuff to me, and I put it on my list, and then I never get to it, or it takes months. So I might check it out, but if anyone is gonna check it out, it would be Annie, especially since she's into Curb Your Enthusiasm and she's into true crime. I mean, I'm into true crime, but just not it has to be something that I'm really into. I need to do a Charles Manson, like, interview. I remember one of my first streams I did was a watch along, where I just pulled up a Manson interview and then, talked about it. I don't know which one I'd watch. There's a 27-minute one. Some of them are pretty bad quality too. That'd be the bummer. Like, the Geraldo Rivera one is a whole hour, and that'd be a good one, but that's a pretty bad quality one. Yeah, sure, I'd probably do the Geraldo Rivera one. It's decent enough quality, I guess. Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be rough, but that is something I should do just because I gotta do more Manson stuff. Manson stuff always, at least pulls in some eyes. Oh, shoot, Doctor Foxmeat is streaming tonight. He always starts streaming at 9. I might check that out. Proto Max gotta head out. Peace out. Right on, man. Thanks for hanging out. I probably get out of here in a minute too. I always stick around for a few minutes longer, but then I never end up even actually doing anything or nothing ends up popping up. So yeah, I probably will get out of here. Um Let's see. Direct eye contact. I don't know if you're still around. If you are, thank you for hanging out. I am probably gonna get out of here. I'm all distracted now. I'm sitting on my phone. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I think, which means I'll be back on next Tuesday. I do not stream Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, or Mondays. I wish I could, but work schedule and stuff. So, yeah, direct eye contact. Whenever I'm live, feel free to stop by. Like I said, it's the 3 days in the middle of the week that I'm usually on. But all right, fucking A. I'm gonna hit the outro. I'm gonna get out of here. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And we're all here today to groove and have a beautiful time together, and that it's only the beginning. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk.